What's going on, guys? My name's Theoatrix and welcome to my updated ranged guide. In recent years, Jagex has made a number of changes to the ranged skill. Most importantly, Jagex changed how ranged works, where there are now 3 different ranged weapon types. Weapons can either be light, standard, or heavy, and a number of monsters in old school now have a weakness to a certain ranged weapon type. For example, the Corporal Beast is weakest against heavy weapons, which makes weapons like crossbows better than bows. Jagex has also introduced a number of new bosses that are weak to ranged, including the new Delve boss Doom, as well as Leviathan from Desert Treasure 2. They also added the Gemstone Crab, which has become a very popular AFK training option. Ranged is a combat style that is excellent in PvM and PvP, mostly due to its high accuracy, fast attack speeds, and strong selection of weaponry. Bosses like Muspa and Zulrah are weak to ranged, and to be able to raid, you need to level up. Getting your fire cape can also include ranging, and the same goes for the Inferno and the Colosseum. Ranged is also one of the fastest 99s in the game, depending on how you train it. At higher levels, it's possible to get XP rates in the millions per hour. Ranged is also something you can train on the side by AFKing, and there's a lot of AFK methods that I'll explore in this video. Also, there are 9 quests in old school with a ranged level requirement, including a few important ones like Underground Pass, Animal Magnetism, and the Curse of Arav. You need level 62 ranged to be able to get the quest cape, and you need level 70 ranged for the Achievement Diary cape. It's important to know the mechanics behind the skill, so now I'll explain exactly how ranged works. Increasing your range level boosts both your accuracy and your max hit. For example, when using bronze knives, your max hit is 1 at level 1 ranged, and your accuracy is around 50%. But then, at level 99 ranged, with bronze knives and the same setup, your max hit becomes 12, with an accuracy of 95%. Alongside your range level, you also have your ranged attack bonus and ranged strength bonus, and those can be found in the equipment stats menu. Your ranged attack bonus primarily comes from armor and weapons, and having a higher attack bonus increases your accuracy. This gear gives the highest ranged attack bonus in the game, where currently the Bofa gives the highest attack. Your range strength bonus increases your max hit, where it mostly comes from your ammunition, as well as some weapons and armor. The highest range strength bonus comes from Missouri with a crossbow and dragon bolts. Most ranged weapons in old school have 3 attack styles: accurate, rapid, and long range. Accurate gives an invisible +3 ranged level boost. Rapid gives no level boost but attacks 1 tick faster. And there's long ranged, which gives a +3 defense level boost plus an increased attack distance. For the fastest XP and highest damage output, it's recommended to always use the rapid attack style. As I mentioned, there are now ranged weapon types in old school, ranging from light to heavy. Weapons like darts and other throwables mostly fit into the light weapons category, and monsters that are weak to light weapons include those that have a lower defense level, like regular lizardmen have a -10 defense to light ranged weaponry. The regular bows and arrows all fit into the standard weapon category, and currently, not many monsters have a weakness to standard ranged weapons, and items like the heavy ballista, crossbows, or the multi-cannon are regarded as heavy ranged weaponry, which prove best against high defense monsters in most cases, like Leviathan or Zilliana. Speaking of weapons, why did the Ranger buy an Apex Gaming PC? Because he wanted to increase his draw distance. If you're looking to upgrade your gaming setup, you need to check out Apex Gaming PCs. Their computers are built by pros, fully tested and customizable, and their PCs are even creator friendly for streaming and recording. This is the Apex Streamer Plus build, equipped with a Ryzen 5 CPU, a 9070 RX graphics card, and 32GB of DDR5 RAM, all at an affordable price. But for those of you that don't need all that power, one of my favorite Apex PCs is the Apex Bronze build. It's stocked with everything you need for RuneLite and RuneScape, plus has the capability to run some more intensive games too. The Bronze build also sits as an excellent starter option for those people that want to slowly upgrade their setup over time. So check out Apex Gaming PCs, and for a discount, use my coupon code THEO at the checkout. So click the link in the description or head over to apexgamingpcs.com to browse the store today. Thanks to Apex for sponsoring this video. Next, I'm going to cover the useful unlocks that will greatly benefit your ranged training. And first is Ava's devices, which are rewarded from completing the Animal Magnetism quest. This is a cape slot item that automatically picks up ammunition as you shoot it. This is a must for training your ranged, and it will potentially save you millions on your journey to level 99. Then, with completion of Dragon Slayer 2, you can upgrade to the Ava's Assembler, which provides better ammo retrieval and extra ranged bonuses. Highly skilled PVMers can take it one step further, getting the Quiver from the Colosseum, and this is the best ranged cape slot item in the game. You can then bring the Quiver to Ava and she enables the ammo retrieval effect. With the Dwarf Cannon quest completed, you can use the multi-cannon, and this is an essential unlock for both ranged training and Slayer. The cannon provides some of the fastest XP rates at a low level, with over 100k range XP per hour possible from level 1. With ranged, it's important to imbue your items to get a range boost. Like, you need to imbue the Slayer helmet, Archer's ring, and the Salve amulet, and you can imbue items at the Nightmare Zone, at Soul Wars, or at the PvP arena. There's also unlocking the high level range prayers, where at 62 you can use the Deadeye prayer, unlockable from Royal Titans. Or there's Rigor, unlocked at 77 prayer, and for this one you need to read a Dexterous prayer scroll. Having these range boosting prayers significantly boosts your XP rates, particularly with Chinning, and they're also vital for bossing. Speaking of Chinning, the final useful unlock for the range skill is completing Monkey Madness 1 and Monkey Madness 2, and these unlock Chinning locations. So if you're after the fastest range XP in the game, you'll need to complete at least Monkey Madness 1, but MM2 helps even more. Next, I'll show the gear you need to train your ranged, and this gear is not necessarily good for high-level PVM or bossing. At a lower range level, the weapon that will give the fastest XP rate is using the Dwarf Multi-Cannon. It's drastically faster than other methods, although the second fastest is just using the best knife you can. For a lower cost, you can also use Mithril Darts once you reach level 20 ranged. In the mid-level bracket, Chin Chompers can be used, which provide the highest XP rates. You can first use Grey Chin Chompers at level 45 ranged, then Red at level 55. Adamant and Rune knives are particularly decent at places like the Gemstone Crab, and also the Bone Crossbow becomes a viable option at 28. There's also the Rune Crossbow and Magic Shortbow, which are both decent options, but it does depend on your ammunition. Once you reach 65, you can start using Black Chin Chompers, which enable you to get over 1 million range XP per hour. And the Venator Bow is another great option for high level range XP, where it can attack multiple enemies at once. Then there's the Bofa and Blowpipe, which are both excellent, particularly when paired with the Dwarf Multi-Cannon. Now let's talk about ranged armor, and I've categorized into low level and high level armor. From levels 1 to 50, these are your best ranged armor sets, and it mostly involves leather style armor. It's important to note that you need the Dragon Slayer 1 quest to wear the green D'hide body, but not the blue d'hide and subsequent bodies. And with 1 defense, you can only wear the leg slot items, as well as the vambraces. And pures cannot wear snake skin. Then above level 50, these are the best sets of armor. Fortified Missouri is the best in slot for ranged, followed by Armadillo. And Huecoatlhide armor and Blessed d'hide are similar to Black d'hide, except give a prayer bonus. But there's a couple of other ranged armor sets that you need to know about. There's Void armor, which is a great set to get, and this is very effective against monsters with a low defense. And you should aim to get Elite Void for the extra damage boost. Then there's also the Crystal armor set, which is strongly recommended if you're using a Bofa, but this does require the Song of the Elves quest. Crystal armor with a Bofa is one of the most powerful ranged setups in the game, sometimes even better than Missouri. Next, I'll go through the remaining armor slots for ranged. In the boot slot, ranged boots are pretty expensive, but if you have the defense level, you can wear d'hide boots, which are much cheaper than rangers or Pegasians. Otherwise, you have access to snakeskin boots, which are very cheap. For gloves, you should just use the best vambraces you can at a low level. Then once you unlock Barrow's gloves, they're actually better than black d'hide vambraces. The best in slot are the Zarite vambraces, currently 90 mil. In the shield slot, the best in slot is the Twisted Buckler, which isn't overly expensive, although the Book of Lore is a good option for lower levels, as well as the Odium Ward. The Antler Guard is a new offhand that can help with range training, and it is the best in slot shield item for ranged pures. For necklaces, if you have the money and 75 hit points, you should definitely get a Necklace of Anguish for the range strength bonus boost. Otherwise, wearing an Amulet of Fury works really well, or an Amulet of Glory. And in the ring slot, there's not a whole lot of options, but you can get an Archer's Ring and imbue it for a +8 range attack bonus. Or the best in slot is the Venator Ring, which gives a +10 ranged attack and a +2 range strength. Now let's go through the different pathways to 99 ranged. And with leveling, you can either train really fast, AFK, or you can level up through Slayer or bossing. The absolute fastest way to 99 is using a multi-cannon from 1 to 45, then from 45 to 99, it involves chinning. This can take 20 hours or less to go from 1 to 99, where the world record for 99 ranged is 8 hours and 40 minutes. On the AFK pathway, it could involve some of the Gemstone Crab, the Nightmare Zone, or using the Venator Bow brings in the highest XP rates. At minimum, it's going to take 100 hours for 99 range if you're AFKing, but at a much lower cost. Later in this video, I'll talk more about ranged with Slayer and bossing with ranged. But for now, I'm going to show a guide for each of the methods, and let's circle back to some low-level methods. Ranged can be a very slow skill to train from a low level, so it's strongly recommended to complete quests to get through the early levels. Completing the Shadow of the Storm quest can get your ranged from 1 to 27 straight away. Then you can complete the Horror from the Deep, Death to the Dorgeshan, and Temple of Ikov to go from 27 to 36 ranged. For the Temple of Ikov, one of the quest requirements is 40 ranged, but you can bypass that requirement by equipping the ice arrows while using darts or knives as your ranged weapon. If you would prefer to train your range normally from a low level, you have two main viable options, which are crabs or cannoning. There's a range of different crabs in old school, and they all have similar bonuses, but in particular, swamp crabs have a negative ranged defense bonus, which makes them the best for low-level range training. Swamp crabs are located in Mauritania, and there's a few places to find them. But on this map, I've marked the areas with at least 2 crabs. There's also the new Gemstone Crab, which is decent for low-level range training, but I'll talk more about the Gemstone Crab in the AFK section of this video. So next, the fastest low-level training method is actually cannoning, and this requires the Dwarf Cannon quest. Even with level 1 ranged, you can get over 100k XP per hour, which is super fast for level 1. There's a number of suitable cannoning locations, including ogres near Castle Wars, caged ogres after Biohazard, Dagonoths in the Lighthouse, or even at rock crabs. But if you want to save money while cannoning, there's a few cost-effective areas, including ice trolls or scabberites, where their drops will pay for some of the cannonballs. Now let's move into the fastest methods section. And in this section, I'll show some more info about cannoning, plus a complete chinning guide. So to get from level 1 to 45 range with a cannon, you're going to need around 2,000 cannonballs. And you should cannon at one of the locations I mentioned just before. Something to keep in mind while using a cannon is that your cannon's accuracy is based off the attack bonus of your current attack style. So it's best to use your best gear and weapon when using a cannon, and it doesn't need to be range gear. At level 45, you can wear your first chin chomper. And there are 3 chins in old school: grey, red, or black. Grey are the weakest and black are the strongest, and red chins are a decent middle ground in terms of cost and experience. Grey chin chompers are the most cost effective, but give the slowest XP rates. Although if you want to train at a lower cost, you still level up very fast with grey chins. There are 4 locations I'd suggest training at with chin chompers. There's Monkey Madness 1 Skeletal Monkeys, there's Monkey Madness 2 Maniacal Monkeys, and there's Dust Devils and Necraels. For the fastest XP rates, you should aim to chin at the Monkey Madness 2 Maniacal Monkeys. But if you're looking to chin at a lower cost, and if you have the Slayer requirements, you should check out Dust Devils, Necraels, or even Custodia Stalkers, where chin chompers are quite effective, and you get drops which cover the cost of chinning. As a whole, you will still lose money here, but you'll get at least half the cost back by training on one of those Slayer monsters. These are the XP rates you can expect while chinning, and from a low level with grey chin chompers, you're already going to see XP rates nearing 250k per hour. Then at higher levels, using black chins can get you over 1 mil an hour, and it is even possible to get around 2 mil an hour, but only through chinning the skeletal mystics within the chambers of Xeric. Setting up the mystics is pretty hard and takes a lot of practice, so that's not a method that's worthwhile for everyone. Overall, if you went from grey chins to red to black, it's going to cost about 100 mil for 99 ranged, but it's only going to take around 20 hours. In terms of equipment while chinning, these are the best setups to use. You should prioritize your range strength bonus to get the highest XP rates, and you should also consider prioritizing your prayer bonus to extend the duration of your trips. Since most chinning monsters have a low defense, Void is excellent for it, followed by Missouri or Armadillo. At lower levels, you can just wear the best dragon hide you can. In your inventory, you should bring prayer potions, prayer regeneration potions, and ranging potions. And you can optionally bring a bone crusher with a dragon bone necklace if you're chinning at the maniacal monkeys. Also for maniacals, you will need a light source to be able to see in the cave. Now I'm going to show you how to get to the chinning locations. To get to the Monkey Madness 1 tunnels, you can firstly use an Apatol teleport spell or by using the tablet on the Grand Exchange. And this takes you directly inside the tunnels. So you follow the tunnel for about a minute until you reach an opening with skeletal monkeys. Then you get the aggression of all the monkeys while avoiding the spikes on the floor. Then once they're aggressive, you can stand around this tile here, and you need to stay underneath one of the roof supports to avoid the falling rocks. So then you stack up the monkeys by running back and forth along a corner wall, and then you chin them, and you need to leave the bones on the ground because that's how more monkeys spawn in. After some time, the monkeys lose aggression, so you need to run out of view and come back, then continue chinning. So that was for the Monkey Madness 1 tunnels. But what about Monkey Madness 2? You should start by teleporting with your Royal Seed Pod, then head up to the Gnome Glider on the top floor. From here, take the glider to Apatol. Then you head south into the trapdoor in the grass. Then head south, then east, and you follow the same path you took during the MM2 quest until you reach this area here. Then you go down into the cave and run all the way east to the open area with monkeys. Then you can go to a corner to stack up the monkeys by running back and forth along a corner tile, and once they're stacked, you can start chinning. After some time, the monkeys will stop being aggressive. To reset, just run back towards where you entered the cave and run back. For Dust Devils and Necraels, these are both located in the Catacombs of Kurend, located to the northeast and southeast of the dungeon. For these, it's strongly recommended to bring high alchemy runes, since you'll be able to extend your trips that way. Now let's get into the AFK training methods. And for this section, I'm showing Swamp Crabs, the Gemstone Crab, the Nightmare Zone, the Venator Bow, and Chinning. Starting with Swamp Crabs. And these are an excellent low-level range training spot because of their negative range defense. And I've already spoken a lot about Swamp Crabs, so if you want to learn more, skip back to the low-level training section. But if you're planning to AFK at Crabs, I strongly recommend getting Arva's devices, since it allows you to use better ammo without losing much money. So Swamp Crabs are great for low levels, but at higher levels, the Gemstone Crab is your best crab option. The Gemstone Crab is the best because resetting the AFK is easier, there's no competition, and you constantly stay in combat. To be able to access it, you do need to complete the Children of the Sun quest, which is a very short and easy quest with no requirements. At the Gemstone Crab, if you started training from level 1 ranged, it's going to take about 20 hours to reach level 70. Then at level 70 range, the Nightmare Zone becomes an excellent AFK option. And you could start this at a lower level, but you won't get as good XP rates as the Gemstone Crab. For the Nightmare Zone, there are some quest requirements, since you need quests to refight the bosses. So for ranged, these are the best quests, since these bosses have low range defense and no strange mechanics. As a whole, you need at least 5 of these quests. If it's your first time in the Nightmare Zone, you want to select monsters that only use melee, and you enter with prayer potions and protect from melee. This will get you enough Nightmare Zone points to be able to unlock absorptions and overloads. You'll also want a Dwarven Rock Cake or a Locator Orb for absorptions. And basically, you enter the Nightmare Zone and lower your health down to 1 with the Rock Cake or Locator Orb. Then you drink a ton of absorption potions. And since you only get dealt 1 damage while on 1 hit point, your absorption lasts a very long time, allowing you to AFK for a long period. So this gives 20 minutes of AFK time, although it's recommended to relower your health every 5 minutes or so. You can also purchase super ranging potions from the Nightmare Zone shop, which give an even bigger boost than a ranging pot, so this is excellent for your XP rates. Then once you reach level 80 ranged, you can start using the Venator Bow, which provides some of the best AFK range XP rates. This is currently a bit over 70 mil on the Grand Exchange, and to use it, you need to charge it with Ancient Essence, which are 13 coins each. When charged, the bow attacks up to 3 monsters at once, and that means in dense multi-combat areas, you can AFK for 10 to 20 minutes at a time. There's a few notable places to use the Venator Bow. The Catacombs of Kurend is excellent, particularly great for Slayer, but also for AFK range. You can fight monsters like Bloodvelds, Abyssal Demons, Dust Devils, and Necraels for long AFK intervals. But you can also use the Venator Bow within the Nightmare Zone for fast XP, especially because of the super ranging potions. But you do need specific monsters in the Nightmare Zone for this to work, particularly 1x1 or 2x2 tiled enemies. Otherwise they get stuck, or the Venator Bow doesn't attack them properly. But for the most AFK XP with the Venator Bow, you should take it to Maniacal Monkeys, accessed after Monkey Madness 2. In this cave, there are tons of monkeys, and you can sit here AFK for a very long time if you use prayer regeneration potions. And the final AFK method I'm showing is chinning, and this used to be dangerous to AFK, but now since you retrieve your lost chinchompers on death, you no longer need to worry about losing them all. With high prayer gear, prayer regenerations, and goading potions, you can chin for around 10 minutes at a time without needing to click. Although it does help if you stack up the monkeys every now and then. That's how you get the highest XP rates while AFK ranging, but if you AFK for too long, you will die. If you're going for the max cape, it's most efficient to let your cannon do a lot of your range training while doing Slayer. This is the most efficient because you're training your ranged and combats while leveling your Slayer, so you won't go past level 99 if you do your Slayer first. If you use melee as your main attack style, but you use a cannon on as many Slayer tasks as you can expect to go from level 1 to about 90 ranged. So if you plan on maxing or just going for 99 Slayer one day, you should do Slayer before training to a high range level. With Slayer, you can also use the Venator Bow or even chinchompers, particularly on tasks within the catacombs of Kurend. Now let's talk about bossing. And training your range through bossing is a great way to earn some cash at a higher range level. Ranged is a common attack style to boss with due to its high accuracy and high damage. When you unlock a rune crossbow, you already start becoming effective at places like the King Black Dragon. And also with a rune crossbow, you can consider defeating Jad to earn your fire cape. With a higher range level, you can start defeating bosses like Zulrah, Vorkath, or Muspah. And at even higher levels, there's Leviathan, Kriara, Nex, and Hydra too. With a higher level, you can also start raiding, which brings the most profit in the game. All 3 raids require ranged, and all 3 raids bring in millions per hour. On an Ironman account, ranged is similar to the main game, except certain ammunition is easier to obtain as an Ironman. At a low level, you can smith some ammunition to train with. Then with 28 range and the Lost Tribe quest, you can use the Dorgashan crossbow. You may also consider training your hunter at chinchompers, and with those chinchompers, you can take them to the maniacal monkeys for great XP rates. Fletching your own rune crossbow is a big step for an Ironman, and that rune crossbow will be one of your best weapons for a while. Then getting your bowfer is another big step for the range skill. But other than those, Ironmen can train range the same way as I've shown in this guide. Now to finish the video, I'm going to cover free-to-play 1 to 99 ranged. In free-to-play, you're restricted mainly to bows and arrows. You can use bows up to maple with adamant arrows, which is the best ranged weapon in free-to-play. Since you can't get Ava's devices in free-to-play, you should aim to use cheap ranged ammunition like bronze or iron arrows. At low levels, say spotting cows and chickens are decent low defense targets. At mid to high levels, you can safe spot monsters for good XP and profit. Ogress warriors in the Corsair Cove dungeon are fairly weak to ranged, and they have great drops for free to play. If you want to train AFK, you can go to the spiders in the Stronghold of Security with full rune armor on. This lets you AFK for 5 to 10 minutes. There isn't a whole lot of content available for free to play, so getting a high range level isn't really required. Anyways, thank you for watching my 1 to 99 range guide. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more old school content. If you're after a gaming PC, be sure to check out Apex Gaming PCs and use the coupon code THEO to save on your order. Thanks for watching.